Hey guys, it's Chris, the Natural Progressive. How are you doing this evening? Let me put my chat so I can say hello to everybody who is here. Um, Sorry, it does that flash thing. My stream deck isn't functioning right now. I've got to figure out what's wrong with that when I have a minute. Let's see. What do we got going
Got
on?
a
We got
bunch.
Gills here, William Martyr, Sultan Bev, which we've got to ask about what's going on with Brexit because we're just talking about that.
Right.
Um,
Vanessa
uh,
Kitty.
Choctaw Warrior is here. Hello. Race Lover, welcome. Kent Deal. Let's see. Who am I
Vanessa
missing?
Kitty.
Who?
Vanessa Kitty.
Oh, Vanessa and Cheryl Hewitt. Um, I don't know. Zox is here. Yay, Zox. Hello. Hello, Zox. Okay, so I will try to say hello to everybody else who comes in as they come in. But um, so this is the deal. I have been to the doctor. I've had a fever since 2 weeks before Christmas, and I went into the doctor to find out what the hell was going on. I've had muscle and joint pain clear back in 2009. Had this thing called Raynaud syndrome, where your fingers turn like ghost paper white, and it hurts like hell. Um, I've had that issue going on. But anyway, I finally got a antibody test, an ANA test, and they gave me a diagnosis. Well, semi-diagnosis. I'm still going to go see a rheumatologist and all that, but it's an autoimmune disorder. So I got to go in and talk to them and find out, the extent of it and everything. It's pretty scary, but I've been researching the hell out of it since I'm affected with it and really got into autoimmune diseases. And really all my brain was doing was relating it to what's going on with the planet. And that's kind of the way my brain works lately. It's like everything, like, well, how does this relate? you know? Um, and to me, autoimmune disease is what the humans are to the planet. We were born of this planet. We were created by this whole system, and now we are unknowingly, we think we're doing good, but we are, as a whole, humans as a whole think we're doing good, but we're actually attacking the planet and killing the planet. We're attacking its oceans. We're attacking
Because our
the
numbers have gotten too large.
Yes, yes, and
If
we're
our
we're
numbers were
we're
much smaller,
multiplying, trying to
right.
Yeah, we're
attack.
close
If
to
the
8
immune
billion
system was in
people.
proper balance
Yes,
and the numbers of humans were much less, then it wouldn't be a problem.
yes, but that's like the autoimmune part. We're attacking it. We're attacking it. We're
Yeah.
like we think that nature, outside of ourselves, we should be a part of nature, but we're not anymore. We think that nature is a plague or a cancer, and we attack it. The whole human race is about conquering nature, and by conquering nature, we're
Yeah.
killing ourselves. So
Yep.
it's
It,
Yep. Totally agree.
it's
Hey,
like
Christine, do you think your work and all the chemicals you're exposed to might have brought this on?
yes. Actually, I'd like to show you a picture of what I deal with. I don't know, probably not.
yeah, it's
I'll show
crazy.
Because
you.
oftentimes the autoimmune are a response to an
Yeah,
environmental
that's one
stress.
thing I was checking into. Um, okay, like when this is the kind of thing I was dealing with this week. I don't know how well you can
Yeah,
see
I can see it.
that. So the light's
I've
getting
got
in
a bit of a
it.
glare, but
That's underneath the Roundup. Like
Yeah.
we're moving those beams, and we have to get under there where all the drippings are, all the broken
Oh my
bottles,
God.
and
oh
everything.
gosh,
That is kind of something
that's hazmat suit.
it's yeah, it's kind of, hold on, I'll
Uh,
find, there's even a better picture. Here it is.
Seriously, that's hazmat suit, respirators, and so on.
Yeah, but they don't do that. Okay, here's
Well, they're better.
an even better picture of it. All of that in the car under,
Oh,
if you can
okay.
see that, is broken bottles that we
Hmm.
pulled out of there. I did have the gloves on, um,
Yeah,
but
but you got the fumes though. You're probably exposed to.
yeah, I mean, and this is
Yeah,
something I've
they
worked
should
with
have
since
supplied
the
you with a
90s.
respirator.
It's kind of too late at this point. I've been dealing with this since the 90s. So
Wow.
Um,
They needed to supply you with a respirator that removes VOCs.
what's
Not just a little,
a little
paper
paper
thingy.
mask, which is probably all
It's a mask
they give
with
us
the
anyway.
canisters. That's what you needed.
Right, right. Yeah. And did you hear Black Bear News and his story?
No.
He did a story that was about um like people who are hauling truckers who are hauling not chemicals, but brine. Like brine is like salt water that
Hmm.
came from the mining or the um, drilling of oil and all that, and how toxic and how radioactive that is, which freaked me out because I worked forever for not forever, for 7 years I worked at a salt plant.
So you're talking like tailings outwash then?
Yeah, yeah, and brine is was all around us, and there was this canal that they said was totally toxic, and if we fell into it we were instantly dead. So
Oh,
so I've worked around so many hazardous things, it's like no wonder I have. But you know what, the my consolation is, I'll probably last longer than as long as the planet does, not longer, but as long as the planet does, right?
right.
It's like, okay, thanks. um
Which one is more ill, you or the planet?
Um, the planet, probably.
Probably.
I'm thinking. Is there
But
anyone?
like this autoimmune condition, the humans are attacking the organs of the planet, the
Yes, the lungs, like the
lungs
air we
and
breathe, the vascular system, our
the vascular
waterways.
system. Yeah.
I don't know. You can make all kinds of analogies.
Yeah. Tons of
I
analogies.
bet you
Very
Jim would be
similar.
better at that than anybody
Yeah.
here. Oh, human's here. Hi, human. There's a lot of good comments, by the way, so we should stop and maybe read some.
Right. Anita's here too.
Oh, Anita's here.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, Anita. Um, Moose Gal's here also. Nice to see you, Moose Gal. It's been a bit. So,
Ecocentric homestead.
oh, Ecocentric Coast. Yeah, I said hi, hello to her in the chat, but I don't think I did while I was talking online. Whatever. But let's see. Do you know about Shaka tea? I've been drinking it for like 15 years. I am sitting here with a cup right now and a 5-gallon pot and a 5-gallon pot. Okay, William, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it. Brine includes a lot of chemicals, Kent says. Yeah, brine is radioactive, and the shavings from the drilling is also all buried poison anyway. Yeah. No one is healthier than the earth. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Think about it deeply. No one can be healthy. The earth, everything hinges on our ecosystem, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, Karen Peterson is here. Hello. Um, oh my gosh. So, anyways, crazy stuff. I mean, but when you're diagnosed with something like that, it freaks you out, and it brings everything into perspective, I guess. Although I already think I already had things in perspective because I already felt like we had a death sentence, um, and now it's just like a personal one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh my, thank you, Val. You brat.
Get you a treat, because we're all, it's sad to hear both you and the planet are not doing too great.
Yeah, someone, who was it, said that it sucks because autoimmune diseases are almost invisible. So it's totally true. I mean, you like think like you feel like crap, but everybody looks at you and thinks you look so great and so healthy. Like especially with this because my wrinkles are going away because of the skin tightening. I'm getting a facelift. I have an eye lift already. I'm waiting for my forehead lift to get rid of all those, but I mean, it's like you look so good,
Yeah, that's the
but you feel like shit.
right. Unfortunately, but geez, kind of almost like a Hawthorne novel, like Nathaniel Hawthorne. Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
Pat Hacker's here. Welcome, Pat Hacker. I know it looks like a wrench pack party. You were like the second person I gave a wrench, but you didn't want it. So, but we love you anyway. So
Yeah,
you can't feel bad because you're like the second person I ever gave a wrench.
you're on the team like the rest of us. We're all a team, including the natural progressive.
Yeah. But,
The lady, the lady that speaks for the earth.
Pat is skeptical of the climate thing, but as long as she believes in environmental destruction, I am so happy to have her aboard,
And she's on the
because
team.
that's important. Yeah. Let's see.
You also while you were working traveling, your hardcore Trumpian Republican coworker told you he loves socialism.
No, he hates socialism with a passion, but
He told me he loved socialism.
no, I didn't say that
What
exactly.
did you say?
I said that he told me that I should apply for SSI.
Yeah, but he also told you that aside from that, that he loves the features of socialism, such as police and utility companies and military
Military. The
and all
military is the
that.
largest socialist program in the world,
Yeah.
the U.S. military. So
So you
you,
really love socialism.
you can't say you hate socialism
So
if
do you
you like
say
the
you got
military.
me? I'm for Bernie now. Did you
That doesn't work.
I just
Yeah,
love these I just love these a la carte people that pick and choose. It's like you can't have it both ways, folks.
no, you you really can't. I mean, sorry, but that's we've had a lot of great conversations. We've kind of been stuck working together for the last, on well, 1 week on, 1 week off, 1 week on, and it's crazy the conversations we've gotten into about Trump. I mean, the first conversation is like, what do you think of oh my God, what was it that was going on at the time? It was a big thing.
impeachment?
Iran. But what do you think about what's going on with Iran? And he didn't um, say anything about what he thought about Iran. He says, I don't know, but I think Trump's a great president, and he's done everything he said he was going to do. And I'm like, okay, what has he done
Yeah,
that he said he was going to do? Drain the swamp? Not so much.
he's going to
Bring
save
Jobs Act. He said he was
going
going
to
to bring
save Social
Jobs Act.
Security, but now he wants to cut it,
Yes, he was
and
going to give
Medicare,
everybody the
and
best, most wonderful health care they've ever seen. Everyone, the best. Everyone's going to get the best health care. There was going to be that. Did that happen so far?
No.
No. He has
no
been redoing the trade deals and stuff. And
200,000 people have lost their medical insurance, since he came into office.
yeah,
Which is
yeah.
concerning because of the coronavirus,
Oh, yeah. We
right?
are going to
Like,
get into that too. Yeah.
yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, Whitney, have you got a pen to write
Yeah.
something down with?
Pat, you don't need to believe in the climate change hysteria in order to be on board with ecologic preservation. Um, I don't know. They are connected, but um, you can ask the scientists here if you want. Jim was all about the climate thing, but there's so many more things that are worse that we're dealing with right now. Climate change is just it's not the predominant thing.
So we have a we
It's
have a
Let's
phrase
let,
we have
let,
a
let,
phrase here we call ecological reality.
yeah. Wait,
Ecological.
Jim. Go ahead and finish your statement. Hold on, Val, just a second.
Okay.
global warming only basically serves to exacerbate things like the coronavirus. One of the side manifestations of global warming is disease outbreak and spreading. Because it's warmer, it's easier for the pathogens to move about. So when we see disease outbreak, this is a consequence of climate change and global warming.
Climate, yeah.
Right.
Right, exactly.
And it's
So
part of what we call ecological reality. It's
yeah,
reality.
it is reality. You can't
It's
say you
reality,
don't believe in
kids.
some. I mean, you can say you don't believe in it, but it doesn't make it not true. Okay,
Yeah,
there's
Well,
it's
it's
reality.
actually I want to say something here because one thing you'll never hear me say is, well, I believe this, I believe that. What you'll hear me say is the data indicates,
Yeah.
you know,
Right, and that's better. Yeah.
because there's nothing to believe. It's simply what are the facts? What does the data tell us? That's what it is. It's
You
nothing.
may
There's
not
nothing to
like it,
believe.
but there it is.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
there's a lot of reality that you don't like, but you have to accept it. Hey,
Because
Whitney,
once you use the word believe, then you're invoking a
yeah,
belief system,
yeah,
and that's where it gets kind of the argument falls off the rails, I think.
yeah. Okay, Whitney, write down Malin Baker, Mallen Baker. It's a new niche YouTube genre. It's what I would call fake environmentalist who claim to be on the side of the environment and believing in climate change, but really they're climate deniers. And this is one of the top guys. So he
Okay.
just did what?
Why are we going into that right now? Just
Well, I'm
wondering.
just giving this
Maggie's
to
here.
Whitney. Whitney does a progressive weather channel, and I'm telling her that she want to check this guy out who's trying to fool people. That's basically what he's trying
Who
to
is
do.
it?
His name is Malin Baker.
Okay, why would we know him? I mean, I don't know.
Because this is a new a niche where there's people who are claiming to be on the side of environmental, but they're really skeptical. I'm just telling this for Whitney because she
Okay.
does progressive weather, so
Okay.
that she can investigate this person and see this niche that is popping up where they're pretending to be environmentalists, but they're really deniers. All his subscribers are Tony Heller types. And I was going to challenge him to come on this show, but then I realized if we did that, we would be immediately trolled by all the thousands of Tony Heller.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that.
So,
Okay, let's get
and
off
I
of
don't want
that.
to do that.
Let's
So I didn't.
let's move on to the
Okay, I'm
coronavirus.
ready. I'm ready. I was just telling Whitney.
Okay, okay.
I was just telling
Thank
Whitney
you.
so that for her channel, she can investigate this guy. Okay, move on.
Okay, right. Let's see. I'm missing all the good stuff. Okay, so Pat was talking about coronavirus has only a 2%, 2% morbidity. Morbid. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But the flu, like pneumonia, at 14% for
Yeah,
decades, which
well,
is true.
is
I
this
mean, they really are like overdoing their coverage of it. It is a big deal, but it's not like you know, I don't know. Maybe
Christine?
I can refer to Jim on this one, but I don't think it's going to
Christine,
wipe
the
everyone out.
computer projections are when this thing peaks 100 million infections. This is no joke. And even though the flu has that many cases, this is exponentially expanding. They've already
Okay,
shut
this is
down China.
from what I found out. Okay, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to research it, but what I did, I did go and listen to a couple of things on it, and they were saying that there was like 4,500 people infected with it.
No, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Whoever told you that is not telling the truth. It's not 4,500. It's in a lot more than that.
Well, there's also no. I was gonna finish. Oh my
Okay,
God,
go ahead, finish.
that was one place, and then there was another place that said there was 90,000
Yes, that's
infected
closer
with
to it.
it.
The first
And
place was not being forward. They were
the
basically
first place was
minimizing it.
basically like the Chinese government entity saying
Yes.
this is what's going on. Um, but and then they say how many deaths, and then they say how many people recovered. But the amount of people recovered is a very small amount. Even in the official numbers, this was my point. Even in the official numbers, there's not very many people recovering from it.
Well, the mortality rate is right now pegged at between 3 and 5%. Okay. The thing
But
is
there's
though,
still people with it, and it just started, so they
right,
don't
but
know
the thing
what the
about it,
morbidity is of it
the,
yet.
the thing about it is that it's on a massive exponential curve. Okay. It's much more, the flu is not spreading like this. This virus, uh, uh, coronavirus is picked up like somebody sneezes and it's on surfaces. Okay, you touch it with your hand, You bring it up to your mouth, nose, or eyes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Plus,
that's
there's
the
a
infection.
incubation period where you're not
14 days.
when you're not symptomatic, but you are still contagious. So we don't know how
Absolutely.
far it's actually spread. We're just gonna
Listen,
have to wait and see on that. But let's get back to the comments. Let's not
well,
go. Let's
okay, but they just banned all flights out of China.
yeah.
Okay,
Of course they did. When are they gonna ban all the flights here in the U.S. because there's
real soon.
I am flying on Sunday. I hate it. I hate flying. I hate flying. Luckily it's to Montana, but we have a case in Arizona. Um, Maggie was saying they have a case in Illinois. Um, so there's cases. This is just another economic sanction against the Chinese. I don't know, is it?
Yeah, well, the Chinese is voluntarily, the Chinese government is blocking roads, is closing down towns.
Building
Yeah, it's a big,
hospitals in 6 days.
right. Yeah, they know it's a big economic loss, but you're going to take an economic loss or have tens of millions of infections.
Love you too,
You know,
Pat.
it's
Thanks for
not a hard,
stopping in.
it's not a hard decision. You know, you either let this virus attack the whole country, you know, and you shut down business
I'm
for a month. Listen, there's three people. There's three people who are doing a top line job on this. It's Canadian Prepper. Okay.
I gotta watch a piece of that one. I didn't watch the whole thing because I got interrupted, but I started
The
watching
other
Canadian
one,
Prepper.
the other one is Full Spectrum Survival and Chris Mortensen. And CNN specifically pointed at Chris Martinson as being alarmist. Okay, Chris Martinson
Peace here.
has a PhD in pathology.
What is the alarmist like? What does that mean though? Like what's
They're saying CNN was saying that Chris Martinson was spreading fear, that he
of, like
didn't have
spreading
his
fear?
data wasn't accurate, which it is. And the fact is that the coverage that the MSM is doing is very basic. They're just reporting China's sanctioning, doing this and that. These YouTubers are providing much more detailed things to do, much more detail. CNN might have 2 or 3 minutes on it. Okay, these guys are doing hour and a half long shows, breaking down, you know, getting face masks, gloves, how to basically, because you know, if you have coronavirus in your hair and you touch your hair and bring it to your nose, mouth, or eyes, you just infected yourself. So they are going, these three guys, there's probably more, but these are the three that I've been watching, and they are going into extreme detail with scientific data backing up everything they say, and they specifically attack Chris Martin. CNN specifically attacked Chris Martinson, and Chris Martinson brought it up in his show. So these guys are providing a fantastic service, explaining to
Wait,
people.
okay, but we're not getting all the great information from the people in the chat because
Okay, go for it.
they're saying okay, but I can't keep up with it if you keep talking. We need
Okay, go ahead, do it.
Okay, there was 7 cases in California, says Sultan Bev.
Oh, yeah, 7 cases.
This is information I want to know. I want to know from the chat.
Yeah.
They're more important than what I have to
see,
say.
you were implying that it was like the flu at the beginning. This isn't the flu.
No, I wasn't implying that. I was not implying. I was reading a comment. Oh my God.
All right.
Reading a comment. That's not the same thing. There is a great Hopewell. I just found out about a week or 2 ago. I'm not sure. Jesuit. What is your thing about Jesuits, William? Dang. I have no idea what that's about. Okay, something about the Pope. I miss so much because comments go by so quickly.
Okay, well I can mention something else on while you're looking at comments.
Read comments. Don't mention something else. Read comments. Don't get off on another tangent.
Sultan Bev, elderberry syrup, green tea, keep your selenium. Kim Centra, hi peeps.
Hi Kim Centeno. And let's see. Go back because there was a lot of questions.
Okay, you got a mouth.
Bio is here apparently.
You got a mouth,
I
put
was
it to work.
talking to Bio. Well, it's hard to keep track while people are
Okay.
keeping on with the. Okay, what happens when the coronavirus hits the part of Africa where they are fighting Ebola? Ebola can't deal. Good question. What happens? And not to mention, there's so many more diseases that are being released in the Arctic and from the permafrost that we have no immunities to. How many?
Yeah, I just saw a report about some viruses, some 30,000 years old, that have been found thawing out of the permafrost, and they're still viable. And they don't know what they are, and they don't know if they could infect humans or what.
It's
30,000 years
crazy.
old, and they're still viable.
Wow, yeah, and you don't know because we have no immunity to them because
Nope.
we haven't developed anything.
I am hearing that the U.S. government has decided to anyone flying in from that region of China will be subjected to a 2-week quarantine.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
No, it's not. Why would that be
They
crazy?
should be. I mean,
Well,
it's
just
crazy
like
that's happening, but it's
that's what
yeah.
I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. It is crazy that it's happening, that we get to witness all this craziness. It's insane. Okay, Moose Gallo is just asked me really quick about Huntsman running again for governor again, and she wanted to know if he was a good governor the first time, and I want to say, compared to every other governor I've ever um, been around for, yes. He actually became hated, but right when he left because he informed everybody that he was good with gay rights and stuff, and then suddenly all the Mormons hated him. So, um, and now I kind of, because he was this is kind of important to the environmental thing. He was an ambassador to China, so when he was appointed ambassador to China under Obama, so I worry that and he did say he wanted to work with China, and and do all the kind of deals. The Chinese Belt and Road Initiative would be further with him as governor. But any governor we elect in the state is going to be shit because they're all going to be Republican and or corporate assholes. There's no way they're going to even do a Democrat here, but they'll either way they're going to be corporate assholes. And and I and so I don't know. I don't know. I mean if social concerns are your thing, then he would be great, I guess, because he's okay with gays. So I don't know. Anyway, that answers your question. Now we can move on. Let's see. I didn't want to miss. Russia has a closed border with China, says Sultan Bev. Sultan, I wanted to ask you about Brexit. Because you're saying that you're there. Um, let's see. Chris Martinson upshot is reinforce your immune system. I guess, I mean, everyone should try, but I have a compromised one now. Oh, Sandy's here. We changed our
She's
show to
leaving.
Hey,
She's
Sandy.
leaving.
Sandy changed her show. It's not going to be tonight at 7 Eastern. It's going to be tomorrow at 7 Eastern. So she won't be following me tonight. Sad, but you know, she'll be on tomorrow with Jennifer. So make sure you tune in to Sandy. Um, that would be a good thing. Thank you for
Or
coming, Sandy.
or catch it in reruns if you happen to be not able to catch it the first time.
Let's see, 83 people flown into UK from China. In 2-week quantities, about 50 miles from me. Oh, that reminds me, Jem. Didn't they fly a whole bunch of people from China into Alaska?
Well, usually flights that come in from Asia come in um, through Seattle. Usually,
But they said they landed
it
in Anchorage.
may sometimes go through Anchorage.
But they said they landed the evacuees from China, from that, I can't pronounce the place where it happened, whatever. Um, that
Yeah,
they
direct
flew
flight from
to.
China to Alaska.
Yes, they
Huh.
landed in Alaska yesterday, I believe.
That means that
It was on
they
early
would
in the
have to have
morning.
flown into Anchorage. It would have to flown into Anchorage.
Yeah, you didn't hear anything about that?
No,
It was a
but
whole plane full of people that may have been exposed to the virus. That's all I'm saying.
oh,
It's like-
yay.
and you don't know
Well,
that, huh? I wonder why they're keeping that quiet in Alaska, huh?
well, it's our wonderful governor that we have here.
Nice. Don't you miss Sarah Palin or? Okay.
Compare, in all seriousness, compared to the loser we have now, Sarah Palin would be an improvement.
Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
That's sad. That's very sad. Very sad statement.
Our current
Okay.
governor is nothing but a coke stooge.
Okay. Sandy's gonna go. She's just stopped in to say hey. She's probably feeling like crap. She just got back in from Florida and she's tired. But she says, love you all. Jen and I will see you tomorrow, live Central 7, 5 Central, 7 Eastern. Love you guys. No, it's 6 Central, 7 Eastern, 5 Mountain Time. So, yeah, get that straight, woman. It's hard to get it straight, though, honestly.
And 4
Corporatocracy
Pacific.
never ends. Yes, Maggie. Um, we're
Excuse
having
me.
a quarantine. Really, you have a quarantine area? Ecocentric homestead in Canada. Wow. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen like they where they have these makeshift things like um, quarantine areas. I saw that on the news this morning where people come in and they'll put you in these quarantine areas to watch you for a little while. But I don't see like my work shutting down the travel. We did get a corporate email saying no one's allowed to go to China. All travel to China is not allowed. It's like, okay, well, I was planning on going to China tomorrow, but okay. It's like, I never want to go to China. It's silly. But yeah, so I guess Montana, there shouldn't be too many connecting. It's a straight flight to Billings, Montana. So hopefully I don't have anyone who, oh my God, should I wear a mask?
Well, what you have to be worried about are the airports that are big hubs for international flights.
Salt Lake
Such,
City, maybe? Salt Lake City International Airport? That one, maybe?
I mean, where Delta is basically headquartered out of.
Delta flight out of International Salt Lake City International Airport? That
It
like
does.
that?
I mean, I've flown in out of Salt Lake, but did they get a lot of international flights landing directly there?
Mm-hmm. It's an international airport. Salt Lake International Airport.
The places like JFK, Seattle, LAX, or
They added a
um,
whole bunch of direct flights over the last year.
O'Hare, Atlanta. Atlanta's a big one, where you get a lot of international flights. But Seattle, we get stuff from South America, Asia.
Yeah, Maggie says Alaska is a quarantine area for Americans coming from China. So yeah, I remember them like talking about a plane that just landed in Alaska with all the people they're removing
So,
from China.
so they've been quarantined. Is that what?
In Alaska, it's so weird you don't know since you're in Alaska. I mean, that you think that would be big
Alaska's
news.
Alaska's a huge state. I mean, and
Yeah.
we're far flung around, and a lot of stuff that happens in Anchorage we don't hear about here in Fairbanks.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's kind of like St. George in Salt Lake City, Utah. Like St. George is way different than Salt Lake. So, but it's kind of a metropolitan area. But I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. It's like the serenity prayer applied to the mathematical equation of this coronavirus. We have to know which variables we have the power to control and change. We might have to hunker down. Probably, William. I mean, who hasn't, who knows what's going on, who hasn't prepared to hunker down and um, just expect the worst? Pray for the best
Well,
and prepare for the
power
worst.
to control. There's a little thing called chaos theory, and anytime, especially when you have such an open, varied, complex system such as planet Earth, it's so difficult to actually understand all the processes and all the parameters and all the variables, all the interaction. It's just too much to factor
Factor
all
in.
in, and just one little change in some initial condition, just one little tweak
Yes.
can give you a completely different result. So, which is why geoengineering will never work. That's another discussion.
Yeah, I agree. We're on the same page with geoengineering. Pink at in Bio's lab in San Diego, scientists are using a relatively new type of DNA technology to develop a potential vaccine. I know 4800 with plans for it to enter human trials by early summer. Bear, why do you always have to interrupt my show? Bear, will you tell everybody why you have to interrupt my show? Tell them why. You tell them why. Why? He's getting
Time to
killer
feed the
shot now.
dog.
No, he needs to go potty. You need to go potty. Tell Dad. Dad is out there. Greg, will you let Bear out? There you go. Good boy. Okay.
Actually, now I don't know if if I have this information correct, but I thought I heard that scientists had actually figured out the genomic sequence for the coronavirus.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
I
I
thought I
was
heard that
right
somewhere.
though. It came from snakes. I was right. I heard it came from snakes. Everyone says no, it was bats, and then I found out it came from snakes originally, and then it's been
So it
mutating
wasn't. So it
really
wasn't from
fast.
bats then.
It came from
Oh,
snakes originally.
Oh, 'cause I was hearing bats.
I was hearing bats after I heard it was from snakes.
they tracked it down to a butcher market in Wuhan,
Hmm.
Yeah,
where
but
in
there's
close quarters. They go ahead, go ahead. You're not letting me talk, so go ahead. I'm not going to say anything.
it is from a butcher market, but it came from snakes.
That's what I said.
Okay, that's all. Go ahead. You want to
I'm
say
done. I was going to say the World Health Organization, WHO, declared global health emergency 130 2020. They've already declared it. There's speculation that the virus is going exponential. The Chinese level of infection now will be fully realized in the US in less than 3 weeks. Also, there is speculation that 2019 nCoV coronavirus originated from Wuhan bioweapons lab. This is speculation. It's not been factually proven, but it's just speculation. So there's that possibility that either it was let loose or it escaped. Of course, the speculation.
Yeah, I don't. It could have been, but they said it was what do they call it? Zoomorphic or something. I don't know, some weird name that it came from animals and morphed into something that could affect humans. But it was more than one species of animals that was eventually affected by it. And I'm not scientifically brain, and I didn't have enough time to really research it. But yeah, Moose Gal, was it Moose Gal who said? No, it was Maggie that she also heard it came from bats after steaks, which is the same thing I did. I tend to believe the first thing I hear unless it's proven wrong. So I'm waiting to. I don't know. I'm not. There you go. Thank you. Zoonotic. Zoonotic. That's it. Like it. So it comes from animals, but it is able to change so it affects humans as well or other species. It can transfer from one species to another, right?
Right.
Okay, so, but by the way, boiled, I don't know if I can pronounce something, rope lamppost, boiled rope lamppost. Welcome. First time I've seen you here. Thank you so much for coming and your contribution to the chat. Pink Barrow Kate Broderick, Senior VP of Research, said once China had provided the DNA sequence of the virus, we were able to put it through our lab's computer technology and design vaccine within 3 hours. Really, because this morning they were saying that it took like 6 months to develop an antivirus like vaccination, and then another few months to get it to market, that kind of thing.
Well,
But
well,
that was
imagine
just
this.
corporate news. So I don't know.
Imagine this: if you have if and when they do come up with the vaccination, and the government is putting out mass vaccinations, and you have the anti-vaxxers who are saying, "No, I don't want it." You have a pandemic. The government is going to force them to take the vaccination.
Why? I mean, I don't think anyone should be forced to take a vaccination. If they don't want it,
Well, if you
let
have a
them.
pandemic and millions are being killed, the Chinese government, who is being criticized right now for their extreme
Patsy!
methods, actually is doing the right thing. If you want to stop a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic that is, in an exponential phase.
And there's actually
So,
been there's actually a logistic a growth equation that models how fast pandemics spread.
right.
So there's mathematical models out there that they're probably already plugging and chugging the numbers in and cranking them out.
Nobody knows how bad this thing can be. People have not experienced any mass pandemic that I can think of since the Spanish flu, the 1918-1919 pandemic. So people, like with hurricanes and tornadoes, they're complacent until unfamiliar event happens. And I'll tell you this: I went to several different drugstores and Walmart, looking for gloves and masks, which they're pretty much sold out of. And I asked the Walmart lady, has she even heard of the coronavirus? She hadn't even heard of it. And I said, wait a couple of weeks. It's going to look like Christmas in this Walmart, as everybody's going to be coming here to pick up masks that they won't have. And they'll be picking up food and water. And it'll be pretty much chaotic.
Yeah, no, it will be for sure. Oh, did someone mention bats? That's so funny. Pat Hackers. Someone mentioned bats, and then Pat the Batman fan jumped in. Yeah, but ah, it.
Yeah, too quick to the bat cave.
Someone put out the bat signal. Had to. It had to happen. That's just how it goes. Um,
Quick to the bat
uh,
cave.
no kidding. Oh no. But yeah, Maggie was saying that the permafrost, like you guys talked about, worries me like more than one thing happening at once. And that, to me, that's pretty dang scary. I think the biggest thing that worries me though, um, not that none of the other things bother me, but I see what's happening here in our state, and what worries me the most is clean water being destroyed and habitats being destroyed. That is what bothers me the absolute most. Viruses, whatever. If I get a virus and I die, who cares, But if
But
it,
you're missing the bigger picture here.
no, I'm not, because if there's
Yes,
no
you
clean
are.
water,
The
there's no
bigger
clean
picture.
air, there's not a
No,
biosphere, my
no.
kids
The
don't
bigger
survive.
picture is the Earth, Gaia, is starting to depopulate this planet. Okay, and this is one of the methods of depopulation, of calling the planet, is pandemics. That's the bigger picture.
That's
Okay, I'm not talking about
that's
you or
not going
somebody.
over my head. I'm not
Okay, whatever,
stupid. I'm not going to sit
whatever.
there and harp on
This
that
is
topic though, because
we.
we all
Guy
know how I
McPherson.
feel about overpopulation. Okay, we
Guy
all know.
McPherson said that the Earth, there'll be nobody on this planet within X amount of time. Well, how do you think that's going to happen? This is going to be one of the methods that a lot of people are going to die. Is the planet is going to be reduced in population, and this is one way that the Earth does it.
Okay, but that's not what I was saying.
I don't know what you were saying. I'm
That's
just saying.
because you didn't let me finish my
I'm
freaking
just saying.
thought.
I'm just saying. that the earth, this is how the earth is getting rid of the infection that you were talking about earlier.
And that's exactly why it's not on the top of my brain. And that's why I
Okay,
don't worry
whatever,
about it, because it
whatever.
actually helps our
Okay, I'll
situation.
shut
It
up.
does not hurt it. You never let me
Okay,
get to the end of my fucking
then get to
thought.
it. I'll shut
I
up.
love you, Val, but let me get to the end of my thought.
Do it.
I take a while. I take a minute to get to the end of my thought.
Do it.
It's like that's not my biggest concern. Okay? It's not my biggest concern. But it does help my biggest concerns, and you wouldn't even let me get there. God, you ruined my whole setup. You ruined my whole setup because you interrupted in my whole setup.
My bad.
So, but yeah, same point. It's the clean water thing. Tar dead, wetlands, unprotected. Yes, Maggie, wetlands, our largest natural water filtration system, is screwed. But it was long before Trump Tard. It was long before him that started happening, especially here in Utah. I've watched them build over the wetlands over and over and over again. They're building housing complexes on wetlands. They're just filling them in with topsoil and building houses on top of them. And then and now they're building a prison on top of them. And now they're building a inland port on top of them. It's like a highway on top of them. I'm seeing them over and over and over again just build on top of wetlands. And we're down to like 25% of the world's wetlands. And it's our number one water filtration system. That is one of the things we cannot live without. Our kids cannot live without. And I'm sorry. I don't care if you believe in climate change. I don't care if you don't think it's all going to end. I don't care about it. If you cared at all, you would care about the wetlands. You would care about our oceans. You would care about our forests and our ecosystems. If you cared at all about your kids, your grandkids, and all that, I don't care if you believe in climate change. You need to at least believe in that. Believe in that, and take
Well,
care of it like it matters to you, like it gave you life because it did.
other functions that wetlands do, wetlands are extremely important. Not only are they major filtration, but also nursery grounds for the juvenile of many species. And they're also a buffer zone for storm action, like hurricanes coming ashore, etc. So wetlands, marshes, mangroves, what have you, swamps, they do serve important functions, ecological functions.
I need to take a quick break. I'm totally out of breath, but you guys could talk about continue and read some comments for me.
So
And
you really,
I really need to I really can't breathe right now. I get
so
that
you're
way.
gonna let me talk, right?
Well,
Or you want me
I'm
to shut
going
up?
away for a second, so you can talk all you want, but let Whitney talk too, and Jim. So
Well,
you
I'll
can
just
talk.
shut up then. I'll just shut up. That's fine. They
Oh,
can talk.
Val or Jim. Val, come on.
No, they can talk.
You can talk too. I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
want
take a
to.
break. Come
You
on.
keep telling me to shut up, so I'm going to shut up.
No, I just wanted to finish my thought. That's it. I love you. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Okay. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break as soon as I can figure out how to do it. I need to breathe for a minute. Have fun. Don't just shut up while I'm gone, please. Don't just make an awkward silence, please. Okay. You guys.
I can talk now. You're going to let me talk now. Okay. Um, looks like 2020 started off with a bang. I mean, we're what? 1 month into 2020, we already have the makings of a pandemic.
Yeah.
Um, this impeachment is going on.
Almost war with Iran.
Almost war. Yeah, right at the beginning.
Do you guys know what's going on with the impeachment? Like a quick update? Just it's all BS at this point, or
It's all
like
BS. They're saying it can go
okay.
on for forever.
Oh yeah,
Okay? Total BS.
no witnesses. Yeah, yeah.
Look,
Then Trump will
Yeah,
go on saying,
Jim, every time I go out in the car and I and turn on NPR, they're doing impeachment. They're either they're either recording what's being said or they got a talking head. This is nonstop. This is from 7 in the morning till 8, 9 p.m. at night. They never shut up about it. They don't talk about fires in Australia. They don't talk about El Nino. All they talk now. Look, I'm not against the impeachment, okay? But you know when that's all they're doing, and if they take a break on impeachment, they're talking about Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Kobe.
You know,
NPR, National Petroleum Radio.
right. So they never look. It's just me. I'm irritated by it. Okay, I'm irritated that I'm not against the impeachment, but that the mainstream media is to see it. They'll spend a couple of minutes on coronavirus, and the rest of the day is totally devoted to impeachment. And you know what? They're going to get a big nothing burger out of this impeachment. Okay, and they're going to have the candidates, the two senators, Saunders and what's her name? Warren. They're going to have to be sitting listening to impeachment instead of campaigning. So the Democrats, again, shooting themselves in the foot because they're failing. It's a total fail. Read Kunstler today. Okay, but I am getting sick and tired of hearing impeachment every time I turn on get in the car. So I'm not even listening to that. You know, I'm listening to frigging country station. I'm listening to Hank Williams. You know, I'd rather hear that than just this droning on and on and on and you know, just total the myopic BS. You know, the mainstream media is a total fail.
Yeah, they're in a different land. Yeah. Go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I finished. Just go ahead.
You know,
mainstream media just useless.
I gave the example earlier about how Chris Martenson, Full Spectrum Survival, Canadian prepper, they're spending an hour and a half talking about coronavirus. So for people who are interested, where you know the mainstream media is spending a few minutes on it, they're spending an hour and a half going into extreme detail. They're providing a valuable service to people who want to get pertinent scientific information, you know, look at it without alarmism. Okay, they're not alarmist. They're looking at what we keep talking about: ecological reality. Ecological reality, where Mother Earth has taken out, as Sam Mitchell says, is taking out her broom and starting to sweep away the parasite that is humans, because we're overpopulated, and this is how this superorganism Gaia works.
Well, as I've said in many of my videos, especially the carrying capacity video I made, that you know, anyone who keeps thinking that human population is going to continue to grow exponentially is delusional. There will be corrective measures, and one of the corrective measures is pandemics.
Yeah.
In addition to wars and the resource shortages and so forth.
Famine.
Yep. But that comes under resource shortages.
Right. Famine, resource shortage. And then we're adding the effects of climate change, sea level rise. Then we're going to have forever heat waves in the summer that don't end, that go on for weeks.
That's a good topic to dive into down the road. The amount of heat waves we're gonna have and like how to deal with that.
It's gonna be insane because it's gonna go exponential. People keep asking the Professor Guy McPherson, or as Canadians call him, G. McPherson. They keep asking, well, you say there'll be no humans on the planet in 2030 or whatever. I'm not going to give his number. Okay, humans will be extinct. They're asking him, how's this going to happen? What is the mechanism for this to happen? And the mechanism, and he to me, he always beats around the bush and doesn't get to the point. One of the mechanisms is going to be pandemics, and as you mentioned, Jim, you know, resource wars, maybe a nuclear war, which we were going to bring. And aren't you surprised how fast the 100 seconds of the bulletin of the atomic scientist came and went? It's gone out of the news. Back to impeachment. Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant. And and I'll tell you something else I noticed about Kobe Bryant, that this morbid fascination on how he died, and he received Holy Communion right before the crash, and you know, just this extreme morbid fascination going on and on that the MSN is pushing. And yeah, some people are interested in hearing about Kobe Bryant, but in comparison to what's going to be affecting people here in this country now, Kobe Bryant is just a sideshow to a possible pandemic in the United States. And unlike China, where the pandemic is going on now, nobody has guns in China except for the police and the military. We got a country that's got 300 million guns, so it ain't gonna be pretty.
Well, it's an interesting thing because apparently the reason why some of the Republican senators are going to vote to acquit Trump, even those who are retiring, is because they've been receiving death threats from militant groups.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of doing the right thing for the country, just like, well, and you can't really blame them, but
right.
They're just basically saying, "Oh, okay, no sense taking a bullet."
Right, no sense of that. Absolutely.
So you got these Trump
fact,
maniacs just
that's
going
what I'm
crazy.
going to do after the show here is clean my guns because they haven't been cleaned for a while, and I'm not really good at. But yeah, I'm getting ready. I was going to show this thing here. Check this out.
Oh, wow.
Level 3, baby. This bitch is level 3 protection. It covers the eyes, face, and the cool thing about it, mask.
That's something I would wear at a lathe machine.
Well, yeah, it's meant for, it looks like it. It's just cheap plastic. For a lathe machine, the metal will go punch right through it.
Well, I do woodworking, so.
Yeah. Oh, it would go right through it. In fact, I had to reinforce it with tape. This is meant for biological. Look, I was putting it on as a joke, okay, to look silly and foolish, okay, but seriously, it's no joke. I got it ready when people start dropping in this country. I'm gonna walk around with this, and I'm not gonna be embarrassed about it. Okay, you want to play with your own life, fine with me, but I'm gonna wear it. I also got if you go and get gloves, and I suggest that you do it now, to get they have double thickness gloves, because medical gloves are really prone to rip and tearing. So you may want to get these double thickness gloves. Now, I know this sounds extreme. I'm not panicking about it. People want to say you're panicking. Now, to me, this is exciting. I'm not going to walk out there and just ask for a coronavirus so I can get pneumonia and die in an ICU. I'm going to be. I got surgical mask in the car right now. Not to mention a go bag, weapons, flare guns. Those are handy. Yeah, I know this seems extreme, and a lot of people look. YouTube is full of people talking about coronavirus, and if you find it upsetting, if you find the whole thing upsetting, don't watch it. I know, I think I may have already mentioned this. I went to Walmart and I asked the lady, about, she had no clue what I was talking about. No clue that the World Health Organization just declared a global emergency. And she has no clue.
Wait, you're saying you went into a Walmart and somebody didn't know what they were talking about?
No, the cashier. I was, I mentioned to the cashier. So I mentioned to the cashier, what do you think about the coronavirus? She had no clue what I was talking about. In 3 weeks, it's gonna look like Christmas in that place. So she's totally unaware that there's a lethal virus out there that right now is going on an exponential curve, going straight up, and she has no clue. So yeah. And again, and again, it's up to you. I don't care if you get prepped or not. It doesn't make any difference to me. Of course, right now on Amazon, the N95 masks are like 4 times the price, and they got a wait time. some of them have a wait time of like a month. So this coronavirus may have already peaked before you even get your damn mask. Now you don't have to. The supposedly the coronavirus has a real small micron size. I don't know exactly what it is, Jim, but you know you don't have to get a surgical mask. You can just tie a T-shirt or something around your face. But it's way too big for coronavirus. Coronavirus will pass right through that. Okay, but you know it's better than nothing. You know, beats a blank. So you know, and again, I'm paying attention to it. I'm interested in it. I don't really care if other people are or not. You know, other than the fact it's going to spread. And like we were talking about, Miss Natural Progressive, you know, this is part of the earth, just like her with an autoimmune disease, autoimmune condition, and the earth is trying to fight against this invader that's trying to kill it. And it's trying to spread. That's the way viruses work. They get inside the cells and they reproduce. They burst the cells, come back out, and seek other cells to infect in the millions. And that's in the body, okay? And the whole goal of the coronavirus is to spread and reproduce, keep spreading and spreading until it reaches a peak and then declines. It goes on the decline and the virus burns itself out. But who knows how long that's going to be and how many people it's going to take. I don't know.
Or what if the virus mutates?
And that's the other thing. It could mutate to an even more lethal virus, or it could mutate the other way and be less lethal.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah,
you don't know.
But it's a possibility.
You can bet your booty. Go ahead.
I was going to ask Jim if he knew generally the duration it takes for a virus strain to mutate.
I am not a virologist, so I can't really answer that.
Okay.
I'm more fluid dynamics.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna play.
Pat's here.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. Thank
Hi.
you for coming on. Welcome.
Thanks for inviting me.
Of course, you're always welcome. I told you that, right? I'm gonna
Yes.
change my sign thingy so it's in the middle of YouTube. Okay, that's better.
You're back. Thank God.
I'm back. Oh my gosh, you
Couldn't
can fight
wait.
without me. Oh my good lord, it's fine.
I'll shut up now.
I don't ask you to shut up all the time.
Take it.
I
Take
don't
it,
tell you to
boss.
shut up, period. I just, let me finish my point.
Take it, boss.
Okay,
It's all
Pat,
yours.
what's going on? Tell me what's happening in Pat the Batman fan showing up right when we're talking about bats of all the crazy
Yeah. Nope. Just have a day off today, so kind of trying to regroup. And
Me too. After working all my 40 plus hours, I did overtime this week between Monday and Thursday. I had with a fever.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had stomach problems today. It's a recurring thing I have, but luckily it happened on my day off. Kind of sucks to have it on your day off, better than a working day.
Yeah, better than a working day because your bathroom's right there. Yeah, I understand that that's one of the complications with me as well. So it's really uncomfortable when I'm working long hours. So,
yep.
Here we go. Okay, Pink wanted to talk about the moon. The moon need more craters. Okay, Pink. Okay, by the way, I keep saying the wrong channel. It's the Pink Barrio, not just Pink Barrio. It's the Pink Barrio. So let's get him to 1,000 subscribers too, please. He has lots of great information.
Right on.
He is over 800. He's getting there. So let's support Pink, please.
Right on.
Get him up there. But about the moon, they want to. What are they doing with the moon? Sorry, I'm kind of out of the loop, Pink. Anybody know what they're doing with? They want to make more craters. That's what
I'm not sure what he's referencing. What is he referencing?
I know that's what I
want
to
talk about the moon.
shipping
there's a
all of
lot
our
of people.
garbage to the moon. I've heard things like that.
Amazon wants to open a distribution center on the moon.
Yeah.
You know, Elon
They
Musk
probably want to
wants to
mine the moon. I know
Elon
they want
Musk
to mine astronauts.
wants to drive his new truck on the moon.
Didn't SpaceX just launch a bunch of rockets?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, by the way,
One of them.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to mention the Derek Jensen interview with Lord Hugh.
Yeah, catch that after this show.
That is a great interview. If you're still
Absolutely.
jonesing for some more environmental information news, Lord Hugh, are a dumbass, did an interview with Derek Jensen, and of course it's fabulous. It's all in his deep green lies, and the only thing I just was reminded of that because they were talking about the electric trucks to ship things with, and the thing is when they're touting all these great new inventions and stuff, they don't mention how much fossil fuel it's going to take to build these things, like just to melt down the metal and to ship it to the different parts, to ship the parts in from where they're manufactured, all this stuff that requires fossil fuel. Okay, just to be clear, I would love to build as much environmental friendly infrastructure as we can without pulling more fossil fuels out of the ground. I'm all for that. But people really got to consider the fact that we're going to be shut down eventually. We're going to be shut down if we're not dead first, one or the other. It's going to happen one way or the other. So we really need, the only sustainable society is caveman days, back in the dark ages. Um, that's pretty much how we'll have to survive. It's like, that was really dark. I'm sorry. I didn't
Well,
mean to
look
get
at it
dark
this
like that.
way: if this coronavirus is successful, there'll be a lot less people buying shit, using electricity, buying gasoline, going to jobs. So I'm kind of pulling for the coronavirus myself.
I am rooting it on, but at the same time, I have great deep sympathy for anyone who's dealing with it. Does that make sense? It's
Well,
like I don't want anyone to suffer, but
life's a bitch, Christine.
I know,
Reality's
Well,
a
then
bitch.
don't we get the global dimming phenomenon happening? If a
yes,
bunch of people
and then the whole planet dies. But
quicker.
Well, there's no easy winners here.
no, I mean
So
we
pick
have
your poison.
painted ourselves in a corner. We
Yeah.
are now in a corner. There is no way out. There's no way
Reality is a
out. Um,
cruel mistress.
Yes, this is ecological reality. It's eco reality. We are painted in a corner. We have no way out. All we can do is honor the earth and maybe slow it down. Um, I don't know. I mean, if we slowed it down a great extent, we wouldn't be making it go faster. I don't know. I don't want to destroy everything
Well,
before
you
we
got to make a
leave.
decision one way or another. And decisions are hard sometimes. You have to make hard decisions.
I know, but you believe
You
in the
know,
geoengineering a little bit and stuff, and I don't think that's going to work. I think it's going to make it even worse. I think there's a lot of
or
unintended consequences with that. Um, I don't,
you could wish on a star.
I'm
You,
not.
you could
I
pick a
know. Well,
star
you're
out.
that black swan person. I'm pretty much consigned to the fact that we're fucked. We're fucked. We're totally
Then why
fucked.
bother? Then why
So
bother if we're fucked?
because we owe it to Mother Earth to respect Mother Earth and do something to try
So to be on the
to
side
not
of
make
the
it
earth,
worse. Not
to
not
be on the side of the earth, to be on the side of good and right.
yes.
That one time that people who mostly live mediocre lives can pick a side and choose the side of right and good. And maybe there's a small chance that something good can come out of this.
The only thing good is society as a whole will collapse, which isn't really good in a lot of respects, but it is better for the planet. But it's not better for the human race. And there may be some organisms that survive. I mean, I'm not the scientist, but this is what I've come up with from listening to scientists is like if we're lucky, some organisms will survive and can continue the process again. But I'm just afraid it's going to continue the process again, and we're all going to, well, not us. Well, we won't be there by then, but the whole process is going to just start all over again. If if the planet can get to that homeostasis point where it was
Well, the
before.
planet has had, 6 or 7 major extinction events, depending on this latest possible extinction event,
Mm.
where, where 90, 95, even 99% of all organisms went extinct. And yet, to what's Malcolm say in Jurassic Park, life finds a way.
Yeah.
Evolution will take place, new forms will arise, and there you go.
So am I the only one who thinks you should honor the planet and try to preserve nature as much as possible, even if you think it's impossible?
I just think you should do whatever makes you happy in these lovely times we're living in. I have started going pantsless myself. I promise not to stand up.
Thank you. Please don't stand up.
Makes me happy.
But if it makes you happy, by all means, go pantsless. I wear as little clothes as possible when it's warm. When it's hot, I wear very few clothes, because I hate wearing clothes when it's hot.
You,
I
you must
really
have met you must have met Ian Gillan then, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. But Val gave me a hard time about that yesterday during a conversation. I'm like, I just like a breeze on
I
my
wouldn't
bare
say that.
skin. You gave me a hard time.
Well, no matter
Patman, you know what I
perspective.
refer to, right? When I mentioned Ian Gillan.
No, I don't. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, he's a singer for Deep Purple. He likes to just run around with no clothes on
Oh, okay.
in the studio, in his home, whatever, running around the hotel. He's just like,
Well, no, seriously, I wear so little clothes in the summer. I wear as little as possible. But
yeah.
in the
I mean,
winter,
if it makes you feel good, Chris, yeah, that brings you your spiritual fulfillment.
yeah, no
Pursue it.
shoes. Yeah, nothing. Like, I hate
Oh,
wearing
not the
shoes.
clothes, but yeah, but the clothes too. Yes, but I mean,
I do wear clothes, very little clothes, very lightweight clothes. I like breeze on, like natural sun and breeze on my body. It's like that's natural, it's normal. And after a cold winter, I want as much of that as possible, because you have to cover up in the winter. It sucks so bad, especially with this disorder, because you're really sensitive to cold. You get Raynaud syndrome and stuff, and it's cold is actually painful. And people give me a hard time because a lot of people, I think is weird, but they think cold is better than hot. And like, what is freaking wrong with you? Cold hurts. It literally hurts. How could you like cold better than hot? It's I don't understand that because it's literally painful for me. And not just painful in my fingers from the Raynaud's, but in my toes. I get Raynaud's in my toes. All my joints hurt like hell. Cold is literally painful. So people who like the cold better than the warm, I don't understand. It's over my head.
hello.
I'm staying out of the whole hot cold controversy.
That's you living in Alaska.
Staying out of it.
I would never live in Alaska because it's too freaking cold.
All
But
right.
I'd rather live in California, but I'm afraid of all the crap going on there. I mean, they're no
Yeah.
clothes for all. Pink says, no clothes for all. Yeah,
New motto.
awesome. I love it. But it's not because I'm trying to get people to look at me because fuck, I'm old, all right, for one, and I'm happily married. So it's not about that. I just don't like wearing clothes, okay? That. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
Okay. Read some everyone pick a comment. There's people are being fun.
Cold
I
is
can't. I
better
can't
than
see the
hot.
comments right now. I can't
Oh,
see
Cold
any.
Pat.
Sorry.
That's
No.
okay, Pat. Other people will.
Cold is better than hot because you can always layer up. Hot is bad when it's 37 C and 100% humidity.
Well, we have really a dry climate, so maybe that is a part of it as well. But yeah, humidity killed me when I was in a humid climate. When I went to California, I went there. I was there for like a week or two. I don't know, and humidity was horrible. But no, I'm
Try
sorry.
Georgia. Try Georgia or Florida.
I've been to Florida as well. I haven't been to Georgia, but I've been to Florida. But it was in
I've done
February,
videos.
so not so
I've
bad.
done video segments where I discuss the double whammy of heat and humidity,
Yeah.
high
Yes, you
humidity.
have. You have. Um,
And you know that if it gets too humid and it's very hot, your body cannot perspire sufficiently to cool you down. Then you run the risk of hyperthermia, and that's not good as well.
right. But also about the layering of clothes. I do layer clothes, but there's so many layers I can handle. I have pains and have had for a long time in my shoulders and neck. The more layers I put on, the more painful it is. So layering does not help me. Layering of clothes is actually worse. The fewer clothes I can wear, the better my shoulders and neck feel and
And
my
how many layers
body.
you putting on?
Huh?
How many layers do you put on?
Well, it depends on the day.
Because you know it's not just putting on the layers. You have to select the correct fabrics. You need a, a first layer that wicks away perspiration. Then you have a layer over that, another layer, then an outer shell. 4 layers at most will do the trick.
Well, that I never wear more than 4 layers. That would be ridiculously
And they're all
uncomfortable.
lightweight. So you're probably not using the correct fabric.
Okay, well, when I was
Don't wear
having that
cotton.
problem, it was
Cotton kills.
Carhartt um, jackets, the ones that are fleece lined, and
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
then the really I can't wear those; they're too heavy. So I
Yeah, they
have
are,
a
they are
lot
heavy.
more lightweight jackets that I layer, and the biggest thing is the scarf around my neck. I wear a big fluffy scarf around my neck to keep my neck warm, and that helps a ton.
Yeah, I use what we call a neck gaiter. It's the thing, the circular cylindrical thing you slip over your head. Works
Well,
just
I
as
don't want
well.
to mess up my hair. I freaking have to work. I'm a sales rep. I can't I can't
But
pull it off and have my hair like
never wear cotton in the winter time. Cotton kills.
Okay, so synthetic fabrics that are horrible made of oil.
Polar fleece. Polar fleece.
Is are isn't polar fleece made of oil too? Bio doesn't like wearing clothes either. See, I'm not the only one that hates wearing clothes. I want to be covered, mind you. I just don't like wearing clothes.
Hmm,
You could coat yourself in a thin layer of latex, maybe.
that's
But
an
latex
idea.
is rubber, plastic. That would be very uncomfortable.
Could find an
Sweaty,
organic. We could find some sort of
sweaty.
organic mixture. Where you,
Maybe there's something similar made of plant material or something. Hemp.
there you
Maybe
go.
there's hemp
You could be
clothing.
like you could be like Poison Ivy, Batman.
Ooh.
Just wear like the little vines around you.
Oh, there you go. That would
Cover
totally be
yourself in
natural.
vines.
That would be totally
There you
natural.
go.
Yeah. Ooh, there you go, Val. There's your idea to give to Amanda. Clothing
What's
made
that?
of plants. Um, ivy or um. Actually, I have a tattoo with like
Uh
ivy around a horseshoe.
huh.
That's my tattoo. So not a bad
Okay,
idea,
that's the
Pat.
plan. That's the plan. That's something new that's going to be coming out. Hopefully, maybe if, but that'll be coming out soon.
Yeah, we might be wearing vines and leaves
Yeah,
for
we'll
too
look
long.
like Adam and Eve.
No, you know, yeah.
We'll be like the
You'd never
Mormons when
you'd
they get
never run
married.
out of things to wear, and in a mass die off situation, though, if you were one of the few survivors, you'd always just break
There's,
into any mall and
I know,
or
there's
Walmart.
Like
so
Darby
much
said.
clothing. Like
Yeah.
I heard that 20% of clothing that's manufactured is just immediately thrown in the trash. 20%. That's insane.
That is.
Surprised me.
Well, here's one for you. I haven't posted the video yet, but I'm putting together the information up to some. What did I see? 33% of all food that's grown is wasted.
Yeah, there's a lot of wasted food. I've heard that a long time ago when I started this quest, and since then, everything I use it gets frozen so I can eat it later, like dinner. Like nothing goes in the fridge anymore; it goes immediately in the freezer, or it goes to the chickens instead of feeding them other food or whatever. It's just it's not wasted. It is not thrown in the garbage at all. Like none of our organic food is thrown in the garbage. It's
And not only that, but just from the harvesting, a lot of it
oh
is wasted.
yeah. But now there's
That's
these
that's a
programs
big.
where you can buy the not so perfect food. Like they'll ship you some stuff for super discounted price. They'll ship it to your door, which okay, then you have the transportation. Fuck, there's nothing you can do that's reasonable, right? So, but you're paying for the transportation to ship it there, but you're using that food that they're wasting. So it's like everything you do is like you're weighing the benefits and costs of it. There's no
That's
way you can
yeah.
you can make a perfect choice no matter what we do. We're in this fucking culture, this society that was created before we were born. What the hell do we do? What the hell do we do? You know, I'm not blaming anybody because I was born in this shit and I'm a sales
Oh,
rep
you're
for
not
fuck's
blaming
sake.
Trump. Okay. All right.
No, well, I am blaming Trump, but I'm also blaming Hillary. I'm
You're not
blaming George Bush.
you're
I'm
not
blaming
blaming
Clinton.
Exxon.
I am
You're not
blaming,
blaming Spectrum. You're
I'm
not
not blaming individuals.
Monsanto.
Are you
Um,
okay, Val? Val, you're going off into a ditch right now because no, I'm not. I'm individuals who are
they're all
born into
good.
this culture have a hard time making choices
Yeah,
because all the choices are bad. If you
sure.
really deep dive into those choices, they're not as good as they seem. All organic,
I don't
great.
work for any
Does it have
corporation.
plastic packaging?
I don't work for
Well,
any
that's
corporation.
bad. Um,
I work for Val.
I know, but you ship stuff. You still do things that are bad for the environment.
It's
So
better.
we
It's
are
better than
all
driving
guilty.
around and shipping it. You know, a little package.
We are all guilty. Do you use
I'm not
bubble
guilty
wrap?
of that. I ain't guilty of shit
Do
as far as
you
that.
use
I'm guilty of a
packing
lot of stuff,
packing
but I ain't
peanuts?
guilty of
What do you do?
anything against the
Because that's
environment.
horrible
I
for the
got solar
environment.
panels on my house. I've got solar panels on my house. I built
I'm just
electric.
saying that every decision
I
you make.
reuse reusable bags. I don't work for a corporation. So no, don't put me there.
No,
Hey,
you're
what's that
saying
cup
Exactly.
you're drinking out of made of, Val? Huh? What was
Huh?
that cup? What was
What?
that red plastic cup you were drinking out of there, buddy?
Okay, but I've
Ah,
been using this cup for 6 years, man.
I'm
6
kidding,
freaking
bro.
years.
I'm
You ought to see
joking.
how nasty it is inside.
I'm joking, Val.
I know,
Actually,
man. I'm joking too. Shit.
actually, if we're normal people, we are all guilty of shit.
that's what
Absolutely.
I'm saying. We're all normal people, but trying to make
Some are more guilty than
okay,
others.
You
Val,
missed the
yes.
joke. You missed the
Hey,
joke.
I got the joke.
Okay, we're all guilty of shit. Yes, we all shit. Is that the joke?
yeah.
Anyway, um, all I'm saying is at this point, because we aren't self-sufficient, living on our own, off of our own land, living, we're not hunter-gatherers. There are consequences to every decision we make, every purchase we make, everything we do. This is eco reality, Val.
Yes.
Everything you do it
Yes.
affects the environment, and we were born into this system. We can try to make good choices, but it's even if you do the best you possibly can, say you only buy fresh vegetables from the farmers market. Okay, you don't know if those fresh vegetables were produced by like chemical fertilizers that got washed into your water system.
Uh,
It's like, so they didn't use pesticides on them. They still use the fertilizers, Miracle Grow or something like that that's been mined and then used on your plants. There's so many ways that we're
Lots of
being
ways.
fucked and we don't even know it. We try to do the best thing we can. That's what I'm saying. We try to do the best we can, but there's always
Ain't
unintended
okay.
consequences. We don't know.
Can I ask if anybody, because I assume we're pretty much all on the same page by now, that, our days are pretty much numbered. Is anybody taking the limited time they have remaining to do something or try something they've never done before or otherwise expand their horizons? And, maybe anybody in the comments have anything?
Well, I'm still trying to learn the second half to Hungarian Rhapsody #2 by Franz Liszt.
Very
Oh,
good, man.
that's a good one, man.
That's cool.
The
What are you
Frisco.
doing, Chris? Chris, you said you were doing something?
I am. I hope I can continue doing it. I'm a little worried now finding out what's going on with me, but I'm not gonna say I can't do it just because of what's going on with me. I'm gonna keep trying. But no, I started climbing and rappelling. Even if I get climb, I think I'll still rappel. And
Cool.
and I just kayaking. I'm pretty sure I can do that no matter what happens. Just exploring new places and hopefully find places where there's not too many people. But um, yeah, just I like to. I want to try paddle boarding. Like I want to do that. That's on my to do list is paddle boarding. Um, I don't know. I want to do as much as I can before it's all over.
Yeah.
So, but
Val?
electronic stuff, man.
My thing is science, and I've been doing virtual reality and studying, researching into perception with virtual reality, and uh, I could go into a lot of stuff. There's not enough time to do it now, but also motorcycle, which I'll probably be doing Sunday because it's going to be 60 degrees here in Indiana. So plenty warm to go tearing up in the streets and raising hell, and
It's pretty damn warm.
looking for climate change deniers to run over because that's the way I roll, bro.
Okay, Whitney, your turn.
Just kind of nerdy, but I just read a lot of books, and I don't know. I just want to read as much as I can.
May I recommend this one to you?
Oh, yes, definitely.
What is it called?
If anybody hasn't read this book, you should definitely take a minute and check it out. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's
Oh,
actually a series of like 5 books, but
is
yeah.
is the movie based off of that?
The movie, I have never watched it. I have no intention of watching it.
No,
I
the
won't go
movie
into the
had a
reasons,
good
but
point.
the
Like,
movie has not to do with the book,
oh
other than
really? They're not
yeah,
related?
they are, but only the people that made the movie did not understand the book in a nutshell.
Doug Adams used to be, by the way, a script editor on Doctor Who in the classic Doctor Who days.
I so want to read the book now because I didn't know there was a book.
Douglas Adams, you mean?
Did you need for me to repeat that?
Go
Doug
ahead.
Adams
Douglas Adams.
used to be a script editor on Doctor Who during the classic Doctor Who era.
Okay.
Yeah, he worked a little bit with the Monty Python guys in their early days too.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Brilliant guy.
We have
Yeah.
people in the chat that are saying things they want to do. So
Guys, I gotta take off. I gotta
Oh my
leave
gosh.
early.
all right, no
Hey,
problem. It's not actually early. I meant to be done by now. I was only going to be an hour, and then yeah, things happen and stuff. But thank you for
What?
coming, Whitney. And
No, thank you
I-
for having me.
you're
What's up?
check that guy out, Alan, whatever his name was.
Okay, I will. I
Okay.
used to check out like Adapt 2032, and like
Yeah.
I can't like listen to that stuff. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I got you. I'll check it out and
Okay.
All right. Have a good one, Whitney. We'll talk to you next Friday.
Bye,
okay,
Whitney.
next Friday. Bye guys.
Have
See you
a
next
good night.
time.
Bye. I got your email, Whitney, so I'll reply soon.
Okay, guys. All right, Jim. I'll see you guys soon. Wait,
Thanks.
you guys have a show on Monday
No. No.
and not Wednesday again? It's
No.
another Friday.
I'm in
Okay.
Montana next week, so no. Sorry.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
All right.
It's
Thank
live.
you,
Talk to you later, Whitney.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Thanks
I'll
for
see you guys
coming.
soon.
All right.
Bye.
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
What are some of the people saying in the comments?
Okay, let's see. All right. Double duty sex toys. Can't really? Okay. I think there's people wanting to grow their own food. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with this all by myself. Take showers and save water. How do you do both? I don't know. But taking hot showers, man, you're gonna miss those when they're gone. I know that. I think that all the time. Oh, yeah. Okay, I guess everyone's saying bye to Whitney because Whitney's awesome. Um, Gosh, I've seen a whole bunch of things. Everyone's supposed to help me with this. I have really
Sorry.
bad eyes.
I'm
Um,
tired of winters. Zox.
who said grow your own
Zox
food? I think
said,
it was
I'm
Maggie.
tired of winters.
Zox is tired of
Mario
winters.
said bye.
Well, they're saying bye to Whitney because Whitney just
No,
left.
he said bye.
Okay.
That's what he said.
Walking around naked when you can is great. I want to take a pill in Ibiza and show Avis Avisville I'm cool. I don't know what that is. Bio? Why do you come up with the craziest shit? Bio's nuts. I'm tired of winter socks. Me too, but we're gonna get more of summer than we ever want to deal with. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When it gets, I mean, last year we had several days like over 105 here, and
You ain't seen nothing yet, baby.
yeah, we ain't seen nothing
Nope.
yet.
It's going to get a lot worse.
I'm not looking forward to super hot weather. Okay, anyway, just repost anything. That was a really great question, by the way. But yeah, growing your own food. Hopefully the weather cooperates, but the weather is getting so unpredictable. Like just a heat wave, it killed so much of my crop last year. Like
Your
the
weed?
105
It kills
temperatures.
your weed?
No, I put my weed in the shade.
Okay, good. Good.
Weed was
You know,
safely put in the shade. Um, it did stress it a bit, but I still got a pretty good crop out of it. Um,
Great.
I'm planting
you
it
know, I,
in the
I, I
spring
keep
this year.
repeating myself, but it still comes down to chaos theory and perturbations of the system. The system keeps being perturbated, so it's not able to find its new equilibrium level
Well, I think one of these
state,
viruses is going to
and
cause.
so all these crazy weather events is going to continue. This is
Oh,
the new norm.
this is the new normal. You're absolutely. I mean, you're the scientist, but I think you're right. I believe you when you say that because it,
And that's what the data tells us.
yeah, weather weirding. Like, how are we gonna like last week we had one of our guests on the chat was talking about how we should move all the farming to the middle of the country where it all is anyway, which didn't make any sense to me. But um, you remember that comment, Jim? Um, it's like, but there's all that flooding and temperatures going, cold to hot, cold to hot, and ruining all the crops. So that's not going to work. It's
But even hot temperatures will destroy crops because plants, like organisms, have preferred temperature ranges, and it gets too hot for them, they're going to wither because the stomatas open up and all the moisture leaves the tissues.
yeah, our beets died. Like they could not handle the heat. Our Swiss chard did quite well, but it was in a shady area. Um, our spinach did well, but it was also in a shady area. But once the temperatures got to 105, everything shriveled up or went to
Yep,
seed.
yep, exactly. I mean, most of the plants the humans cultivate don't like it much warmer than 85, 86 degrees Fahrenheit,
Hmm. And we're
maybe
regularly
87.
in the hundreds over the summer.
Yeah.
Regularly.
Corn is like the only crop we cultivate that can tolerate warmer temperatures to a point.
Oh hell, TRC Galaxy is here. Welcome again, TRC. I love TRC. He says the jet stream is zigzagging all over the place over the Pacific US. Yeah, and it's funny because you'll see it kind of do this wave thing, and then it like it'll go through California and it'll go through Utah, and then it just goes across the US, and it'll be hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Depending on where you are in that zig or zag, whatever.
Well,
Right?
you're talking about the jet streams, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah,
The jet stream.
the
It's
yeah, the
zigzagging
jet
all over the
streams.
place.
Well, because the jet streams is changing from a zonal flow to a meridional flow, which is
Hmm.
exactly what you just described, is getting more of these dip down. Meridional flows follow more longitudinal lines. Zonal flow follows more latitudinal lines.
Yeah.
So we're getting more to dip down. So yeah, the cold polar air can dip down to lower latitudes, and at the same time, warm, temperate subtropical air gets brought up to the Arctic.
Right. Yeah.
It's
So
just
they're
it's
like
crazy.
this when they're normally like this.
Yes, exactly,
Yeah, they're
exactly.
going, and so you're getting cold air where cold air isn't normally, and warm air where warm air isn't normally. It's
But now this
nuts.
winter we have a very a strong negative situation going on in the Arctic, so that the polar vortex is more contained, more of a zonal flow. And this past January is actually has been the coldest January in 25 years up here in Alaska.
Oh wow, nice.
In
Well, that's
fact,
good, I guess.
this month saw the lowest high temperature for in January for Alaska. 4 degrees Fahrenheit was the highest temperature we got to this month.
Wow,
Oh,
wow. Well, they say we're gonna be in 54 tomorrow and Sunday, like 54 degrees in January. Like that's like
time to break out the
whoa.
bikini, Chris.
But then on
Go
Monday it's
sunbathing.
gonna be below freezing again. So yeah, we're
This is all the well, not only that, but it's just because of the system has been so perturbed that you're going to get these wild fluctuations, and
mhm,
that's until the system finds its new equilibrium state. But we keep perturbing it, so that's not going to happen. Find a
yeah.
new equilibrium state. It's it's
King says
it's
no
gone
dip
crazy.
down 2020. Well, how do we control that? How do we not? You don't think they'll wait? I'm trying to think if that's like please or crossing your fingers thing like please no dip down 2020, um but then you kind of do want to dip down because you want to be warmer or colder. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying, Pink. Damn it. Damn it. I wish Pink would come on. Um he's I've invited him on this show so many times because he would be fun to have on. He's such a character. 66 Fahrenheit here in San Francisco. Oh, okay, so no dip down for where you're at in San Francisco. I think is that what you're saying?
Well, the Arctic ice is going to be gone. I mean, there's no
Yeah,
stopping that, right? So
it's going, 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 gone.
that's pretty
It's
much.
funny you should bring that up, as that's what I spent a lot of years studying. Um, I can give you a quick synopsis of what's going on with the Arctic sea ice. Um, it freezes later in the year. It melts earlier in the year. There's less and less multi-year ice, so it's not as thick. The volume is decreasing. The southern extent is nowhere as far south as it is. Um, the Chukchi Sea, until recently, was still open water. The Chukchi Sea, which is off basically Point Barrow, Alaska, the Chukchi Sea is well on its way to be seasonally ice free. That's unheard of. And the thing is, when you have all that open water, instead of the sunlight energy being reflected back into space by reflecting off the ice, albedo, open water absorbs the heat. And now you have latent heat energy stored, which then gets released over the course of months and so on and so forth. A major contributing reason as to why the Arctic is warming up so fast. So it's just it's just crazy.
That
Yep.
I'm prepared. I prepared I've got to film it, but I put together a PowerPoint slide that's going to be a video, and I talk about what's going on in Alaska in terms of air temperatures, sea surface temperature, and sea ice. I've got a photo from Little Diomede Island where it's just open water, and the photo is dated December 19th of 2019. It's supposed to be frozen. There's supposed to be no open water then. And by the way, in the background is Big Diomede Island, which is Russia. So people say, I can see Russia from here. Yeah, you can. But, you know, but it's open water. It's like unheard of. It's never open water in December.
oh my lord. Okay, we've got to shut this down. We are so late. We almost gone an hour and 45 minutes. We're a little late,
Time
but
flies. Tempest
yeah.
fugit.
Oh my God. Everyone wants to know where is Vegematic? Do y'all miss Vegematic? Like, where the fuck did Vegematic go? He disappeared. We all miss Vegematic. Um, we got to find out where the hell he is. If anyone can get in touch with Vegematic, please let him know we miss him. Um, Yeah, everybody knows. Where in the world is Vegemite? AB, hi from Australia. Oh my God. Then we get someone from Australia coming on. What the fuck? Okay. AB, on north, south, west coast, and feels like we're melting. It's so hot. 12:45 p.m. Oh my God. Yeah, Australia. Oh, Australia. And the news, they're too busy covering the stupid impeachment, and they don't cover Australia. It's like a distraction from hell to cover the impeachment. They're not covering
Well, it's
Australia
kind
the
of
way they should.
boring, really.
Don't you guys find it interesting that, you know, you got the US, Brazil, and Australia all currently have governments who are climate change deniers?
Yeah,
Yeah.
isn't that fucked up?
Interesting. I wouldn't say interesting. I mean, yes, interesting, but more like
I'm talking
depressing.
from a scientific point of view.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
We could
Oh,
say
very
compelling,
interesting. Yeah.
but more
Yeah.
like compelling.
Compelling. There you go.
Very compelling, and I think
Vexing.
vexing bullshit. Pick your poison at this point. Yeah, I mean, God, we are so fucked so many ways, and watching Australia is just like watching what's to come here. You know,
Oh yeah,
it may
absolutely.
not be exactly the same. There may be more natural
California,
disasters.
look at how California burned down, basically.
Yeah, but
You
it's
know,
gonna be worse. I mean, Australia's widespread. 1 billion animals died. A
yeah.
billion. They cry about 30 people, but they hardly mention 1 billion animals. Like, what is wrong with this picture? Not that I don't care about the people. I mean, I do care about the people, but that's what's so hard when there's too many people. We're just too smart because we think about the people. Um, Animals don't think about the people when they're getting hit by a virus or something. You know, they don't have medical advancements that keep them alive longer than they should be alive. They don't have vaccines and all that stuff. You know, nature just takes care of it. We, on the other hand, we think about it. We worry about people that we don't even know that aren't a part of our family. We think about, them dying. Um, it's hard to be a human.
People say, people say, oh, climate change ain't happening. This is what climate change looks
It's
like.
happening. You're watching it.
You look at Australia burning down. You look at the intensity and the severity of hurricanes. You look at the swings in extreme weather. This is what climate change looks like:
Right.
melting glaciers, sea levels rising. The sea surface temperature is the hottest ever this past year. How much energy, when you look at the specific heat of water, that is a shitload of energy the water has had to absorb to heat up. I
Right.
mean, and just for an example, if I have a kilogram of water, liquid, and I heat it up 1 degree Celsius, that takes 4 kilojoules of energy. But if I have a kilogram of ice and I want to melt it, that takes 80 kilojoules of energy. That's 20 times more. So now we're melting Greenland and Antarctica. Just think of how much energy that's going into the system to create that melt. It's fucked, to be blunt.
Right. And now they want to take desalinate the ocean water for humans to drink and continue. I mean, what people can survive whatever catastrophes that are happening, whatever food shortages, they're just going to extend that problem and also make the problem worse. I mean, because the oceans weren't meant to be desalinated. And what's pumped back into the oceans after we desalinate the water? They're already pumping in chemicals and waste from production and all that into the oceans and waterways. What's going to happen when they desalinate some of that water as well? Where there's also
I'll tell you exactly what's going to
I'm
happen.
sure
You're going to jack up the salinity of the water because you're removing the liquid portion and keeping the same level of solutes, but more solutes or the same solids but with less liquid increases the salinity. You're going to cause osmoregulatory distress among the organisms. You're going to kill organisms. That's what's going to happen.
Isn't it sad? And people just think it's an easy solution. There's all that water in the ocean. All we have to do is take the salt out of it and we can drink it and we can keep the human population going. Humans are too stupid. They're smart, but they're not smart enough to understand that they are a problem. And and they keep populating and populating and populating and populating and
Well,
taking.
guess what? The coronavirus is going to take care of that.
Well, I could only hope. But at the same time, I don't want people to suffer. But if it's a quick death, bam, like there was a video of a guy that just dropped down at airport, bam. Okay, that was nothing compared to watching a horse die of colic. That was nothing. Um, so
Not to be confused with the beer of the same name.
the beer of the same name,
Ollie?
colic. There's a beer called colic.
Corona.
Corona.
Corona. Oh,
Corona.
Corona.
Ah, I
Okay.
got it. Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should all just enjoy a Corona and
You can
cheers
keep
to.
that.
Okay, really, I gotta go. My husband, I
Here's
don't
the
get to see
quote.
my husband. Very short period of time to visit with him before I'm off to Montana, um, Sunday morning, and I've got so much to do, and I'm so tired. So much to do, and so
It's a
oh,
good
there's a
Beatles
lot to
song.
do. Yeah, is that a
A
Beatles?
hard day's
It's a
night.
good. It's a good
Oh, it's a
Beatles song.
hard day's night. Yeah,
I'm so
I'm
tired. It's a
looking
good Beatles song
inside. Oh,
from the
I
White
love the
Album.
Beatles. I love the Beatles. I love outlaw country and old rock. I love both of those. That's the best.
No, are you thinking of it? I'm only sleeping, Jim.
That's from Rubber Soul, isn't it?
Oh, Rubber Soul. Yeah, you're right. My
But
bad.
there's a song "I'm So Tired" from the White Album. I think
Oh, I don't know what that is,
Yeah.
but I'm thinking of a hard day's night
Yeah.
or
that's from the
something.
movie, but of course. But yeah,
But it's the Beatles,
I have to
right?
look that up now.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Although I'm only
I'm
sleeping,
so
I'm so tired.
happy.
Both sung by John. So
Pat
anyway,
the Batman fan came on tonight. Yes. Yes. And
Hooray for me.
no, I'm so happy you came on. Really.
Oh,
I
glad to
love
be
you
here. Good to see
keeping
you again. Yeah.
definitely. Definitely you're always welcome on Monday Madness or Freak Out Friday when I do that. Um
Yeah.
when I get back to my normal schedule, it'll be Monday and Wednesday, and then an occasional Freak Out Friday or an interview. I gotta go back on Graham Elwood soon.
yeah. Let me know
Because
about that, Chris.
yeah,
Yeah.
I want to have Jim go on once for me, and I'm gonna go on as well. I
And,
just
and
haven't had
just for
time to
folks,
communicate with him. So, and I want to talk to you privately first, Jim. I want to have a little,
okay, sure, sure.
conversation
And
beforehand.
just for folks know, I've got a bunch of. I still have to edit the videos, but I've got a bunch in the works, which will be posted soon to my channel. So
Oh,
stay tuned for
8 days.
those.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna promote that, but 8 days a week. 8 days a week. That's the that's the one, Anthony. Thank you, Anthony. 8 days a week. That's a great Beatles song. I love it. But okay. So Science Talk with Jim Massa, Valhalla 5-6, Pat the Batman fan. Oh my God. Everybody knows Pat the Batman fan if you follow, Graham Elwood, especially, and probably Jimmy Dore and many others. I know I've seen you on so many other channels in the chat, but um, very, very happy that you joined us.
No.
And
If anybody wants to see, I mean, it's not environmental related or anything, but I did just post a video of some of the custom projects and props I've been doing in the last few years and so forth. If that is of any interest to
yes, so
anybody.
check out Pat the Batman fan. It doesn't matter. I mean, we all need distractions from what's going on.
Yeah.
So I do encourage people to visit like Blake TV. Blake was here earlier. He does great shows. Just talk, just real people having real conversations about real shit. There's the Eclectic Beard, same thing. There's Beer Man who does beer reviews. There's so many people that it doesn't matter. You just got to connect with people any way you can. And I'm really shy, so this is where I connect, is here. In real life, I'm really shy and I don't talk to people except for when I have to. So, it's like, don't make me talk to people, please, 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 please. I hate
Oh,
it.
holy locking carabiners, Batman.
I hate
That's
it.
probably a good policy in general, not to talk to people unless you really have to.
That's kind of the way I am, but unless it's these people, TRC Galaxy joined us at the last minute. There was also the V was it V AV from Australia. Past 6 weeks, we couldn't breathe from smoke and dust storms. Now fires have started up again. Oh my God. And haze coming back. Yeah. They're not even covering that. The fire started up again, and they're not even talking about that. I haven't heard one word about the fire starting up again in Australia.
Crazy.
Holy fuck. I'm so sorry, AV. Dude, you need to come on and update us whenever you can, because we really want to hear that. We have people in New Zealand that come on all the time. I think we have in Australia that comes on once in a while, but we really need people uh, in that area to join us. Sorry, I'm trying to do too many things at once. Eucalyptus trees full of oil from drought. Do they soak up oil when they don't have water? Probably. I don't know. All right, guys. Show you. I want a natural progressive hat. What? Have you been talking to
Yeah,
Val behind my
I
back?
think I told you that, but I think I'm going to be proven right with
Shut
this.
up.
Watch and see. I'm
You
kind
can
of
make
feeling sorry
you
for you
can you can
anyway.
make natural. You can have them. What is it, Cafe Press or whatever? All these channels have T-shirts down
I
below their
know, but the
thing
thing
now.
is, I
But
don't
it doesn't
like.
cost you. I mean,
And don't.
whatever.
I
And don't.
it,
I just said you put the banner up there, they're going to ask you. I don't really care whether they do or not. It's not going to put anything in my pocket.
I
I
hate
don't.
pushing capitalism. That's
Then
what I.
don't do it. I don't care. I'm just saying
But
that they will ask you.
okay, I can. How about I just give you the thing.
Hey, you can turn it into a cake as far as I care. You know, make it into a cake. Make a natural progressive cake with your face on
That's
it.
so sweet, though. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for saying that. That's so awesome. Val, if you want to do something, that's you. I can't personally do
I'm
it.
not. I'm not. Don't worry about it.
Um, I think that would be it would be cute. I wanted to do those at first when I first started the channel. I wanted to do the mugs and all that, and then I'm like, well, then I'm pushing capitalism, and
Nobody's
I
gonna
get
buy a mug.
guilt. No,
Nobody's
I
gonna buy
love
Yeah,
a mug.
mugs.
Okay.
I think you'll be making a negligible impact on the overall situation, Chris, where you just sell a few T-shirts and mugs. It's not going to change our inevitable outcome. And then people can drink their coffee out of a spiffy natural progressive mug.
Okay, I'm gonna take a poll. I want you guys to
There you
comment
go.
in this video whether or not you want me to actually have natural progressive products that sell t-shirts, hats, whatever. Um, you let me know and I'll decide then. I'm not big on it. I know we're all fucked anyway. So, whatever. No judgment. I'm just like,
Well, you made $2 tonight.
yes, thank you for the super
Sure.
chat. We do have super
Sure.
chat working. If you
On
have
these rest
something
of
that
these
you
shows,
really need me to say, that's what that's for. That's it. So, if you want me to get that natural progressive merch, repurpose old hats, maybe you could do it that way. Would be cool. That would be
There you go.
cool if I
That's a
had
good
time.
idea.
You're always at those stores, Maggie May. Maybe Maggie May could do repurposed stuff and I can send her the logo to iron on
There you
it.
go.
I love you, Maggie. It's change the outcome and promote good channel. You're so sweet, Meg. I don't know. So you guys let me know in the comments after the video because it's hard to go through the chat. The chat's so long. I used to go through the chat every time after a video, but now I don't have enough time right now. So
I think you can do a post with a poll from your channel too, Chris.
I
You can
gotta
just
figure out how to do that. I haven't had time, overtime and work, home life responsibilities, and all that stuff. I need an assistant. That true? LOS, yes. Okay, Maggie. Okay, we're gonna talk, girl. Because if she can use repurpose things and put the progressive, natural progressive logo on repurposed items, that would be cool, right?
there you go.
Hemp teeth, maybe. I gotta find out how to do hemp. Would be cool. Hemp's cool. Um, I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Definitely, we gotta be. Maggie has my email, so we can be in touch. But just don't expect me to answer until after next week, because I'll be in Montana next week, and I don't even know if I'm gonna have service. I'm gonna be out in the boondocks and working my freaking ass off for 4 days. So we'll see what happens. And then traveling back, and I'll be happy to be back on Friday to do another Freak Out Friday. So, all right, you guys, it is so late. I only planned to do an hour, and it's been 2.
Wow.
God, you guys are. Oh my God, such a pain in the ass. You never let me stop at 1 hour. Ever, ever, ever.
Blame me, blame you.
Days will seem like hours. Hours seem like minutes. Little Star Trek 2 there.
I know. That's pretty much the way it is, you know? Oh my God. I love this though. Okay, you guys. Everybody say goodbye. I love all of you. Thank you so much for all of your support. Please like before you leave. Make sure you like. Um, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'm trying to keep it above 1,000 because I'm really teetering on the edge and I could lose it. Who knows? Thank you, Pat, the Batman fan, Valhalla56, and Science Talk with Jim Massa. Make sure you check out all those channels. And you guys have a very good evening and make sure,
Safe travels, Christine.
yes, and live
So
the
long,
best life you can live.
suckers.
Bye.